Hello and welcome along to the Rabobank Hockey World Cup 2014. We're focusing on the action from Pool A in the men's division, and it's England versus India live from The Hague. Here's a look at how Pool A stands at the moment, with Australia winning both of their opening games in this tournament. They rocket to the top of the table. 2 wins from 2 puts them on 6 points. England just managed a draw the other day with Spain. India missing out at the very last minute to Belgium, who stole all 3 of those points. Belgium yet to play this afternoon. They play Malaysia a little bit later on after this game. Well, the Dutch in full swing. Some pre-match entertainment for the fans, and there are the players tucked away, waiting to enter the arena here. This 15,000-seater arena won't be packed for this match, but no doubt thousands of you watching it all over the world, whether that be back in the UK or over in India. Wherever you're watching, welcome on board. Fans from all over the globe here. 12 men's and 12 women's side in action in The Hague over the next 2 weeks. Here we go then, led out by the 2 umpires, Martin Madden and German Montes Dorca. It's England versus India. England there in the red and blue strip. Away to our left are India in the all yellow. Sun beating down here in The Hague in the Netherlands, and we're all set for match 8 of the men's tournament. It'll be match 4 of the day here on day 3. Srijesh there, who was extremely busy against Belgium the other day, will take his place in the lineup, and starting goal today for India, Sardar Singh, their inspirational leader. He has to have a top game, as does Ashley Jackson for England. So players line up, we'll have the national anthems and then all the action from the first half. Big shouts of Chak De India as we get ready for this 8th game of the tournament. England versus India, live from The Hague in the Netherlands. Barry Middleton and George Pinner there at the front of the England line, just high-fiving their opponents today, India. About 7:30 just gone in India. Here's how England line up. George Pinner in goal, we saw him there with Jackson Brogdon, who scored the only goal against Spain the other day. Michael Hoare, Dixon Captain Barry Middleton, we also saw him moments ago with Shingles, Whiteman, Carson, Catlin and Fox all in the starting lineup. Keep an eye out for Ashley Jackson, number 7. There is their coach, Bobby Crutchley. Just the one injury to Ian Lewis so far in the tournament. Picked up that little niggle in a practice game against Australia. Still out and hopefully recovered for the next game. Final moments there from Siddhar Singh geeing up his troops. Here's how India line up with Rupinder Pal Singh at the back. Siddhar, the captain, wears number 8. Dharam Veer, Mandeep, number 11. Certainly one to keep an eye on as well. He scored the other night along with Akash Deep, number 27 at the bottom of your screen. Gabaj, SV Sunil. And a change there with Barindra Lakra coming in as well. Terry Walsh, the coach, and has those 6 substitutes to draw upon as well, as and when he needs them. There is Walsh just checking a few final notes to the dugout away to our left-hand side. Not his best side. So it's England away to our left-hand side in the red kit to get us underway.
4, 3, 2, 1.
OK, let's play hockey. There's Ashley Jackson on the ball with that early touch, and that's Barry Middleton now. It's England versus India. 3 very valuable points available in this pool stage of the tournament. It's game 2 for both sides. And England's coming off the back of that 1-1 draw against Spain on day 1. And India missing out in the cruelest of ways. Finally losing that game 3-2 to Belgium, but 2-2 right up until the last minute. This one should be a fiercely contended battle, and watching it for every single minute alongside me is former Great Britain goalkeeper Simon Mason. Simon, welcome on board. Your thoughts ahead of this game?
Well, I think this game's going to come down to a few individuals who possibly don't get the limelight. The huge form of Rupinder Pal Singh playing at the back for India flicks a mean penalty corner if he's on fire. And then Sunil, who's leading to the ball now. If he decides to get into the game, he can sometimes fade away a little bit if his concentration isn't great, but his pace is electric.
Well, he's gone down there. That challenge was a clean tackle in the end from Dan Shingles, but ended up going over the top of SV Sunil. And he's back up on his feet now, so no harm done. Restart with Fox at the back, and over on this near touchline is Michael Hort. Plays his club hockey at Wimbledon, and a great lead to the ball from Tom Carson. Here's Dixon of Beeston. Reverse stick clip in. Ends up in the back of the goal, and Barry Middleton just unable to get a touch on it. Remember, the final shot has to come within the solid semicircular D, known as the shooting circle or the D.
And what Dixon did very cleverly, we haven't seen it very often during this tournament, as he peeled onto the backhand to fire that ball into the circle, actually took a lot of pace off it. If you try and overhit reverse stick, you tend to lift it. Did very well to control it low, giving Middleton a chance of the tip-in.
Akash Deep scored the other night. Almost scored a couple of goals, actually. He was on good form. Missed touch there from Rupinder Pal. England sitting deep in their own half-court press, and a good solid challenge from Nick Catlin. Just forced the Indian player out, and England will have possession just in their own half.
Yeah, Catlin clever as Raghunath came forward down that right-hand side. Just waited for him to get his head down and start to dribble before he really put pressure on him. Raghunath controlling it, carrying it just slightly too far.
Overlapping run's a good one from Dharam Veer Singh. Dixon, though, picks up the ball on his 23-metre line. Here's Catlin now. Middleton doing the legwork on the right-hand side. And picks it up now and has options ahead of him in the form of Carson. Brogdon queuing up on the far post. This is Jackson, back to Middleton. And stick challenge there.
Okay, 26,
as Rupinder
please.
Pal and Catlin collide, but Rupinder Pal coming out with the ball.
And those are the little interchanges that we saw England do so well against Spain in their opening game. Little triangles and real understanding on the leads. And they're going to need to keep those interchanges really slick if they're going to really put pressure on India, because the individual skill level, the one-on-ones, I wouldn't want to go one-on-one against India for long periods of time. They've got cracking, quick hands.
They certainly have, and there is VR Raghunath now just showing what he's got. A little spin there, a little jalebi turn to get the ball into the circle. And Akash Deep now to Man deep, no one there on the far post. You looked at me with raised eyebrows for the jalebi turn, Mace.
No, I heard that one before, akin to the Croy term from football.
It's a dessert in India, and this year, whilst at the Hockey India League, I tasted one. They come in sort of circular fashion. Looks a little bit like one of those spins, a whippy spin that we saw there from VR Raganaut to get the ball into the ding. The jalebi turn. That one goes out of touch from SV Sunil.
5:24.
And already down below us, seeing the first rotations. Carson coming out after only 3.5 minutes. England have started with a real intensity, and I think they needed to do that to reassert themselves. The end of the previous pool game was all a little bit flat, didn't have the pace and the tempo that Coach Crutchley would have wanted. They needed to establish themselves, because if you give India any time or space to play into, they can generate a fantastic amount of energy themselves, and that's really difficult to contain.
Floaty ball in the back from Jackson, and Dixon tries his very hardest to keep it in play. Had a little taster of hockey out in India this year, playing with the Mumbai Magicians. Several of the England lineup, all part of that wonderful league out there as well, the likes of Mark Leghorn, Ashley Jackson and Simon Mantell, to name a few.
Well, Dan Fox having to read that passage of play. Whiteman accelerated out to the sideline to try and make the interception. He got his angles just slightly wrong and ended up a metre short and chasing the ball. Fox stepped out hard behind him. Big challenge on the edge of his circle, had to time it well.
Here is another seething run into the 25. Reverse stick cross comes in, it's high. This time from Akashdeep. Dangerously into the circle, so England will have possession back. Here's another look at it. Gets his eyes up early.
Yeah, Michael Hull calmly deflecting that away.
4 runs, isn't it? Down to third man. Here is Michael Hornow just interchanging play with Dan Fox. Fox looking forward, looking for Gleghorn.
And England at the back quite happy to go to 2. Fox being forced to carry that. Hall remaining as one of the back 2 as they came forward. It allowed the halfbacks to get a little bit further up the pitch, which in turn made the forwards lead higher. Creates a bigger space, stretches the defence.
England and India in a pool alongside Australia, Belgium, Spain and Malaysia. That making up Pool A in this tournament. Pool B made up from Germany, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Korea, Argentina and South Africa. Here come India again on the attack. Reverse stick cross this time. Came up off an England stick, so it'll be a free hit just outside the D as Manpreet Singh tried to get that ball in.
Hey.
Bit of a tussle going on there.
Yeah, but I'm standing right next to you.
In front of Martin Madden.
They're both pushing right next to me.
Just making it clear that he can see what's going on.
It's almost on his toes as it's going on. It's not the subtlest part of battering each other you'll see in this competition.
No, this way is rangeable. You rise it, yes.
No goals as yet to report. We've had 7 minutes of play. It's England 0, India 0. England just going through a spell of maintaining possession, but 3 yellow shirts there forces the mistake from Harry Martin, and India have it inside the attacking half. Here's Sadara, and a little bit of room there, just too far in front of Valmiki, Yuvraj Valmiki. Closest to it as Darren Veer's pass goes astray. Those 2 injuries in the India camp coming late on to Ramandeep and Nitin Thamaya, 2 formidable strikers for India. Sadly, don't make it to the final stages of the World Cup. Both injured in the build-up. There's a lag blowing the whistle there to penalise David Condon.
Well, Condon took the ball to the air, just lifting up, jabbing it there, and there's a huge shoulder to shoulder. I know that Condon lifted it dangerously, but that's a really physical challenge.
There is VR Raganaut. He's a broad-shouldered defender. Takes no prisoners.
Play.
Sadar. Forward from Manpreet. First touch, not the greatest. Here's Gleghorn. So England, who qualified third at the Hockey World League semi-final, that's how they qualified for this year's 2014 World Cup. As for India, they finished sixth in those semi-finals, but that good enough to see them through. And here comes Sadar now into the danger zone. Can he get into the D? Just leaves the ball behind him. There's the slap, looking for the deflection. It's come off Pinner's pads. And thank goodness the old own goal rule doesn't still exist, because that would have been a goal a couple of months ago. They've changed it subsequently since February the 1st. And so no goal because the final touch didn't come from within the shooting circle.
No, dangerous. No,
Bit of a nervy start for Pinner, and the reason why, if you are just tuning in, is England conceded a very soft goal against Spain. We'll have a little look back at what happened there. It came off Pinner's pads, but no final touch from an Indian player inside the shooting circle. But a bit of a howler the other day against Spain.
Well, certainly Pinner would have been disappointed with it. Should have been more aggressive. At the end of the first half, he was almost caught and ended up saving with the sole of his shoe from a ball that wasn't touched in the circle. But the rebound fell dangerously close to a Spanish forward. Subsequently, he then decided to let a ball go in his circle that had the faintest of touches in front of him, and was subsequently criticised by many for not getting in the way of it. So now he'll be looking to step in the way of all passes.
Yeah, it was literally a feather touch as India come back up the midfield now. This is where they're good on the counter-attack, and they've really started to stretch the game now, pushing on forward through Chinglen Sana onto the baseline now with Mandeep. And have they got their first corner? No video referral. Remember, both sides has a video referral if they want to go to. They are going to go to the video referral by the looks of things. I thought that might have come in off the foot.
Yeah.
It certainly hit an English foot. It looked like it was off Dixon. Madden initially suggesting that the ball was high and therefore in England's favour. We'll listen to what he has to say.
No, it's their referral. Let them refer it, OK? Dion, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
The Indians are saying that it did not hit their foot. I gave it for the ball being lifted into the player. Can you have a look at that, please?
I'll have a look, Martin.
I thought you'd given it for a foul.
So Martin's interpretation is that it was lifted, and that's interpretation, so I'm not sure. It definitely hit an England foot, but did that come off Yuvrav's stick to lift it dangerously into Dixon? So that's the contact. I mean, there's two players going for the ball. There's no doubt about the contact.
Oh, for me, that's Dixon's stick straight through, lifts the ball, goes into Gleghorn's leg, penalty corner.
I am inclined to agree with you, Mike.
Martin, I have a decision for you.
Absolutely.
Yes, Dion.
It is on the foot of the England player, penalty corner.
Thank you.
There we go, Dion Nell just confirming that with pitchside umpire Martin Madden of Scotland. India have their first penalty corner of the game. VR Raganaut steps up. George Pinner takes his place in the goal. So England allowed 4 outfield defenders as well as their goalkeeper to defend this. 7 attacking players around the head of the D for India. There's Rapinder Pal, who's one of the danger men, wears number 3. Alongside him, Raganaut, number 12. Either two of these guys can strike it hard and fast. It's a drag flick we're looking for. Who's it to be, though? Rapinder Pal slightly closer towards us here in the commentary box. Not a great injection. He takes it, slaps it towards Pinner, who's already logged down low, and there'll be a follow-up penalty corner as the ball got wedged underneath Pinner there.
Yeah, Madden suggesting that the ball was trapped under Pinner. I'm not sure it would have been trapped underneath him, because it would have been under his left glove.
One only. You need to decide now, Madden. All right.
England think about using their video referral.
We'll see here. It's an awful injection. The slap in from Rapinder Pal. Yeah, it's under Pinner's hip. Madden blew earlier than that, and therefore was given for obstruction by the goalkeeper.
Rapinder Pal loosens up. Didn't get a crack at it last time round. Here's penalty corner number 2. Comes in this time. He does, slings it towards the goal. And the number 1 runner is down. Is that Dan Fox? Tim Whiteman? Number 27 is Dan Fox.
It is Dan Fox, it's hit him. I don't know how high it's hit him. That'll be the issue about danger. Is it above or below the knee?
Yeah, okay.
But I'll be interested if they go to video referral about whether it even came out the circle again. We've talked about this over the course of the tournament so far, but it looks so close to the white line.
You need to be quick, you need to be quick. Okay. Barry.
Oh, they're going to video referral. Here's why.
Okay, good.
I think so, yeah. I can't, I'm over here.
Dion, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Martin.
The English are saying it has hit him above the knee in the course of the shot. Can you check that for me, please?
We'll have a look at that.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll have a look in the replay here. Does it hit Fox above the knee? If it does, it's considered dangerous. Can't see from that, there's a load of players in the way. Barry Middleton did ask Dan Fox beforehand. That ball's right on the white line, though. That's the trailing leg, and the trailing leg is bent.
It looks slightly lower than below the knee from that angle.
Well, the problem is if the leg's bent and it does hit above the knee, so the bruise will be above. You can't see. We need a camera, ideally, from the other side of the ground. That's because behind his front leg.
Quite hard to tell as well because he wears those socks right up above the shin pads.
Well, there's knee pads on. There's knee pads above his shin pads as well to give him a bit of extra protection. It's the left leg it hits, and it's the right leg that covers it. From these, I can't see how the video umpire can overturn the decision. He's given a corner, so he'd probably have to stay with it.
And not good signs there for Dan Fox. Hopefully that's just a precaution. He's going off there. Yeah, it really has swollen up, hasn't it? And he's off to get some medical attention there.
We're still waiting.
The English physio there alongside him.
Referral, yeah.
For who? They? Not us.
So Dan Fox exits
Martin,
the field of play,
last possible.
not in the manner that he wished, and goes to receive some more medical attention.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it sounds like, Inaz, that there's no advice possible.
Retain the referral.
So this suggests they retain the referral.
It's inconclusive. Obviously, I've given it on what I.
So if it's inconclusive, that means the umpire has to stick with his original decision, which is what's going to happen.
But I think it means they keep their referral because it's no advice possible.
Absolutely. Well, we'll keep you up to speed with Dan Fox's progress. Dan Fox of Holcombe, injured in this one, taking one for the team, as they say, and stopping that shot. He's in a lot of discomfort down there, and probably get some ice on that ASAP. So, who takes up the charge as number one runner? Looks like Mark Leghorn is back there now. India again with a follow-up penalty corner. It's number 3 of the game. Rupinder Pal again, not a great injection. Took a deflection from Gleghorn and could have easily lobbed over George Pinner there. Instead goes off for a long corner.
Well, that's 2 from 3 for India of poor injections, not making it to the designated stopper. And that's just, at this level, almost criminal in terms of execution of skill. Gleghorn, as the second choice runner, had to get something in the way of it. The danger of a deflected hit is that it does fly into the roof with the goalkeeper prone on the deck.
You look at the likes of Australia, Germany, monster forces in this tournament. They're the sort of the teams that convert those opportunities, and India have to be doing the same. They have to be setting those standards high.
And there's no excuse for it. They train and train and train, and it's a real closed, individual set skill. It's not reliant on anything else other than the person with the ball on the end of their stick, and so to put it in the wrong place, Terry Walsh will be exceedingly frustrated with.
Loud blast of the whistle there, penalising England, and India will have possession over on the far right-hand side with Garbage. This is Kotajit. Rupinder Pal. Too long for both Chinglansana and Mandeep. Here's a look back at that penalty corner. As you highlighted there, the injection not great, but could have easily lobbed over the stick there. Manpreet Singh deciding to take the shot himself.
Well, yeah, Manpreet had to roll out from his normal reverse stick stop onto a forehand, and in that situation, if you've got the chance to get something on goal, you would do so. And he knew how close that was as it skied up off Gleghorn's stick.
Other results to bring you from the day from this men's pool. Australia beating Spain by 3-0. In the women's half of the draw, the Aussie girls hanging on and beating Japan by 3-2. England women obviously with that defeat yesterday to the USA. Their next game vitally important as England take on China tomorrow. That 1 o'clock pushback local time here in the Netherlands. So hopefully you can join us during your lunch break for that one if you're an England fan. In the meantime, England going in search of their opening goal here. Haven't seen too much of them down this end. There's a deflection chance for Whiteman. Goes the wrong side of the post.
Well, Carson knew exactly what he was trying to do. Gets fired in, he picks it up on his back foot, spins around his feet towards goal, and Whiteman, deflection there. Always going to be difficult to get it on target because the angle of the pass was towards the near post.
Good carry and drive, good turn of pace. And now Kotajit down the line to SV Sunil. Little touch there from Carson. Swung round by Mani Singh.
It's Henry Weir out at right half who was giving that attention to Sunil, and he's going to have to stay right on his heels, giving him a metre of space. Sunil goes through the gears so quickly from stationary to full pace.
Catlin is at full pace there. Lovely ball into Brogdon. It was on his reverse stick. There was some good pace behind the ball that Catlin threw there to Broggy as well, but just couldn't pick it up. Great individual goal from Ali Brogdon the other day. Ran about 40 yards with it and then thumped it in the goal. We need some more of that. A few of the young Indian fans here as well, no doubt living in the local area and come along to shout for their team. Who knows, they may have even made the long trek across the water to come and join us here in Europe for this year's 2014 World Cup. Just over 15 minutes played then. England 0, India 0. First goal is going to be vitally important, and here's a chance for India. It's bobbled up. Not dangerous, says the umpire, but for me that looked like it bobbled up straight past SV Sunil's nose. India very unlucky not to get a corner there.
Yeah, a little unlucky. It was one of those moments when it goes past so fast, the player doesn't even have time to react, and there's that discussion about danger. It hasn't hit them. They haven't flinched, they haven't moved, they haven't got out of the way. Do you penalise that at that moment? Madden deciding not to do so.
I guess if it had hit him, it would have been a different story altogether.
Completely.
Virendra Lakwa sees his pass intercepted by Brogdon, who just leaves it for Jackson. Back over the ball. Played his hockey in India at Ranchi Rhinos this season. And a little spin off the ball there from Adam Dixon, who was at the Mumbai Magicians. Obviously both play their club hockey in the UK, but given that opportunity to go out to India and play out there, we'll talk about that a little bit more throughout this game. Dan Fox, in the meantime, is back up on his feet. Great sign, and he's waiting on the halfway line alongside Barry Middleton to come on. So that good news for him. Ali Brogdon again, first touch, just eluding him.
Oh, Shingles saw Brogdon's lead. Here we've got the ball coming across circle, bobbling up. Bottom of the stick as it's gone past Sunil, and he has flinched.
See, for me, that should have been a corner, but that's me, not as an official umpire. That's me as a commentator sat up here with 0 umpiring qualifications.
Oh, Catlin very nearly picking the pocket as he chased back in defence, having to work very, very hard.
Now, the thing here, India can sling this straight in if they want to. Into the D, they do, and they're looking for that deflection far post. It was Akashdeep Singh who was on the left post as VR Raghunaut thrust that one into the D.
Sir. Okay, okay, 15.
There's another look at it.
Right there.
There's enough Indian players there to get a touch on that. They'll be very disappointed.
Best chance of the half for me, open play-wise anyway. They've had 3 penalty corners as well. And look at that, how that translates into possession. India dominating possession in England's half. Brogdon again on the drive. Another strong tackle this time from Birendra Lakra, winning that battle. Just going back to that possession stat, Mace, doesn't always tell the story, does it? We saw Australia with a lot of the possession in the women's game this morning, but they couldn't convert goals till late on.
Yeah, indeed, and we've also seen the Korean men with huge amounts of possession, and particularly circle penetrations, choosing to just get 20 metres out, 25 metres out from goal and then smash it into the heart of the circle. A huge number of penetrations, but not creating anything meaningful. And at the moment, India pretty much the same, able to carry the ball. England sagging off a little bit and encouraging that, trying to control the tempo a little bit.
Brogton and Middleton link up. Stick tackle there, heavy on Barry Middleton, the captain of England. Can he get one through here? No, he can't. Good tackle from Lakra. Comes infield dangerously into his own zone, and then Sardar Singh doing what he does best. And look at that change of pace. Catlin hot on his tail. Reverse stick pass is a good one, which picks out Dharanveer Singh. Advantage played, and Pinner at full stretch to make sure that one wasn't goal banged.
That's a genius pass from Sardar Singh in midfield. He's driven through space, he's accelerated away. We see here he runs away from Catlin, and at full stretch, one-hand reverse stick sweep across the turf. Smash seizes support. India create a goal chance.
There was the follow-up again. It fell to Akashdeep, squeezed into the turf, and England straight back up the other end. No danger there, play waved on. England will have a sideline ball over on the far touchline. 15 minutes left to play, 0-0. Bobby Crotchley there, the coach, just shouting back Barry Middleton, or Baz as he's known within camp. And Michael Hoare looking to go early there. Plays his club hockey at Wimbledon, but gives the ball away to SV Sunil. A little bobbly ball popped over. Here's a chance for India. Pinner has to come for it. And there's a free hit just outside the D, so it'll be brought back to the dotted line. Remember, it can't go directly into the circle here. Has to move 5 metres, which surely it has done now with Sardar. Picked off rather comfortably in the end by Dixon.
Well, Dixon made it look comfortable, but it was a fantastic outstretched reverse stick that ended up taking it. Sardar Singh very nearly getting round Dixon. But England have got the benefit of a lax touch from the Indian midfield.
This is Mantell back on with Jackson. Gleghorn now. Looking far post for a deflection. Hits the Indian number 13, Gurbaj Singh, right on the ankle there. He seems to be OK. England now with a chance on the edge of the circle. Jackson takes, carries the 5 metres, pops it in. Well routine there, well worked routine that. And the shot eventually coming in from David Condon. Training ground stuff from England. This is Middleton. Can't skip that final tackle. Sardar comes away with it.
That free hit was a carbon copy of England's success in their earlier pool game. They've been working, well, it appears they've been working very hard on these set plays, because there's a real understanding between the players, the lead runs, the drives into space. Middleton unable to really cut into the circle. Felt like he should have got a free hit.
Dixon off his shoulder to Jackson. Jackson again onto a foot, so free hit. Here's Dixon. Just England making sure they keep possession here with Hoare. Fox, who's back on after taking one for the team from that last penalty corner. Through the legs, lovely skills. And here come England. Important tackle from Manpreet Singh. Manpreet Singh denying Dan Shingles any further advance up the field after he nutmegged the first defender.
Yeah, really good skill from a backline player. You see there the drop-off from Jackson on the replay for Condon's shot. Srijesh making a really good right pad save, but now it's this little ding through the legs. Shingles drives, then there's a touch now over the top of the defender's stick.
Super skills from Shingles. India straight back up the other end. Here's a chance to open the scoring, and Mandeep shoots over the bar, shoots wide. India with a cracking chance there to go ahead.
Well, ball gets fired in, and Mandeep leads brilliantly. First touch is strong, but his body just falls away to the right-hand side, lifting it over the crossbar. Look, the hit off the right foot, body weight falling away, gives the height.
Was on the half volley as well. He was almost off the ground when he hit that. Michael Hoare and Dan Fox just interchanging passes. Whiteman waiting to come on the halfway line. And the rolling substitutions allowed, somewhere between the region of 40 and 60 substitutions sometimes a game. Really does give you an indication of the speed at which hockey is played. This is Middleton.
Play.
It's a slightly dangerous ball in towards Catlin, almost cut off by Lacra. India have it back.
Well, if you're going to play a ball into centre half, it needs to be a lot more accurate than that. If you're only even a metre away from your intended destination when you're out on a flank, your team are in the wrong place if there's a counter-attack.
No.
And Simon Mantell stick blocked there by the Indian number 10, Darren Veer it was, who was penalised for intentionally blocking the ball. Meant that Mantell, who's on the ball now, wasn't able to get his tackle in. Well, some third-party obstruction there. Surely there was a big call for that from Mantell as he made his way into the D and India came away with it.
Montes de Oca saying play, 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 but absolutely it felt like Mantell was obstructed. There was no way he could get to the ball, but the umpire perceiving that he was too far away.
Reverse stick shot from Mantell, and again Darren Veer comes for it. It's Chinglan Sana with a useful little wiggle on. Lays it off to Darren Veer. There's room down that right-hand flank. Only just, though. It was the tightest of lines for them to play with Lalit up there on the right-hand side. Here's what we're talking about.
Yeah, so Mantell now gets blocked off by Raghunath. He can't get through. Actually, I've got to say, I think the umpire was right in his interpretation. Mantell wouldn't have got to the ball. There was a good 2 metres between him and where he needed to get to.
I've seen them blown up in the past, but normally on the outfield, not inside the D, which would have led to a penalty corner, of course. Penalty corner now, though. England's first of the game.
Come on.
Yeah. Rabobank making absolutely no real effort to get the 5 metres. He didn't make a tackle for 5 metres, but he was certainly in the way of Mantell driving at the goal.
Doesn't matter.
Here's a closer look at it.
Well, initial touches, Catlin, sorry, not Mantell, but look, Rabobank never, ever gets out the way and gives away the corner.
Second tackle was pretty ugly as well. Yuvraj Valmiki conceding then, and India concede their first penalty corner. There's a look from behind what is going to be the straight striker or the flicker. Jackson and Gleghorn closest to us in that picture. The 2 danger men at the head of the D with Dixon and Martin to stop. Injection will come in from Nick Catlin. It's Gleghorn's way, goes high and beats Srijesh. England leads through Mark Gleghorn. It's England 1, India 0.
Srijesh flapping at that. Gleghorn must have absolutely dragged it with every ounce of power he had to beat an international goalkeeper down his right-hand side. And we see now down his right-hand side, doesn't even get his hands together. That's poor goalkeeping. Close enough for a clean save. Srijesh getting that all wrong.
Well, he didn't look uncomfortable at all there, Srijesh. And here's the reaction in the England camp. Some loyal England fans who've made their way over to support the boys here today. And Mark Gleghorn opens his account here at the Hockey World Cup. It's England 1, India 0.
And what will frustrate India even more is the penalty corner they gave away was so unnecessary, a complete lack of discipline. And at this level, you really do get punished for the tiniest mistakes. One loss of concentration, and that's the end result.
And now the knock-on effect as well. How does that dent India's chances in this game? The momentum, does it shift England's way? Is there time to get another before the half-time break in just under 8 minutes' time? Here's Gleghorn, the goal scorer, now with Martin in possession. Jackson.
Well, you feel that neither team has really dominated in terms of momentum. Consequently, I'm not sure it will affect either of them.
Sadar just inviting the tackles in, and Jackson and Middleton link up here together. Middleton goes himself. Can he get something across the face of goal? Yes, he can. And Srijesh gets a touch on it, low into his right-hand side to take it away to Mandeep.
Well, as Middleton drove into the circle, it was actually a mistouch that got him past the second defender. You see here, he tries to drag it. The first touch bobbles, which gives him the space. He then has to go across goal, and Srijesh doing what he needs to do.
Sometimes call that one the anti-skill, don't they?
Yeah, bobbled with the front edge of the stick, jabbed at it as he's tried to bring it back across his feet.
So England just slowing things down here a little. They have their lead. It came eventually through a Mark Leghorn penalty corner, England's first penalty corner of the game. So going ahead on 27 minutes, Pinner's going to have to come into play here. Didn't really control that. The initial mistrap from Fox, and Pinner then belting it off for a sideline ball.
Well, to give Fox his due, the pass back to him was appalling. I'm not sure he mistrapped it more than it was nowhere near him, but Pinner, sleeping, resting against his post, should have played that back towards Fox. Relatively easy kick.
Nope. Hey, here.
It'll be Kabaj Singh to get us underway over on the right-hand flank. This is Darren Veer. Backing around now from India, Rapindapal.
Oh, huge defensive running from Middleton, and he has to keep going to put pressure on Rapindapal. Deny easy ball into the head of the circle, same as Jackson steps out.
Lovely ball in from Sadar, and there's a shot, takes a deflection, and India get one back. Final touch coming from inside the D. India get an equaliser. It's England 1, India 1.
Jackson tries to charge out here. Sadar Singh plays it into the circle. Great first pick and spin playing off, but there's a touch across the middle of the turf. Is it an England defender who touches it last? Does it come up off Michael Hoare possibly in the middle of the circle? The spin and pick there from Raghunath. I think it comes off Hoare's shoulder as it goes into goal.
England straight back down the other end there with a shot from Brogdon, and the game is suddenly alive. Darren Veer credited with the goal there. Swirling and turning, and here's another chance for England. Well, goals coming thick and fast here in The Hague. England going ahead through Mark Leghorn, Darren Veer Singh levelling for India, and England coming close again here.
Well, Brogdon's come in and gone across the face of goal. Srijesh had to do something with it. Technically just got it with the toe of his kicker. And then second phase, again it's Brogdon involved. He's been a real live wire.
Yeah, certainly highlighted him as one of England's better players against Spain the other day, and let's hope he can keep that reign of form going throughout the tournament as India come again. And that was a bit of a wild swing, no player really on the end of it as Uthappa thrashed that one in. 50 caps today for Uthappa, but that one way off target.
Yeah, got everything wrong there. Whatever the decision-making process was, he was looking for a lead across the heart of the circle. It wasn't coming as he smashed it very wide of the far post.
VR Raghunath quite happy just to carry the ball, and then fouled from behind from Carson.
Let him play.
Important tackle from Weir.
Yeah, the power from Raghunath as he drove that in from a good 40 yards away. It was Leghorn in the heart of the circle who picked it, I think, who had to come away with it.
Middleton peels out and releases Whiteman back to Middleton. England content to come down this right-hand flank. There's Martin carrying a tackle or two. Free hit which will be taken by Brogdon. Carries it the 5 metres, and then the tackle comes in, is clean. Counter-attack.
And this is where Sunil's good. This is where Sunil can just really increase his stride. Look, he's gone past Middleton, who's chasing him valiantly.
Play.
Advantage played from the umpire. Whiteman, Brogdon now again with space, but again dispossessed by VR Raghunath. Inside the final 3 minutes of play in the first half. India with a response to England's opening goal. Darren Veer hitting the ball off the back foot to get that equaliser high and into the net of George Pinner. And England level pegging once again as we draw to the end of this first half. There's a bobbly one.
Good spin from Hoare, nice and strong. Sunil taking it down, but the ball had bounced off. Hoare knew where his space was as he picked that and span out towards the touchline. Good awareness of what's going on around. You don't want to drive into contact, particularly at this stage of a game. 2 minutes to go to half-time. Play the spaces, try and play safe passes, retain possession.
Yeah, England sitting very deep as well at the moment. That's just allowing a bit of a stretch on the game to happen. Fox has to go in for this tackle. Can he make it clean? Yes, he can. Wonderful tackle, in fact. Watched it every step of the way and Garbage couldn't find a way past him.
Yeah, absolutely coaching textbook manual tackle, because what he did was accelerated his feet past the ball, so he didn't just hang a reverse stick out, which makes it easy for a quick forward to drive through. Accelerated his feet past to stay on the open side of his body, so he could just keep his stick in contention. So even if he didn't take the ball cleanly, there would have been contact that would have stopped the run through into a dangerous space.
How'd you rate England's first half performance from what we've seen?
Well, they've done really well. I think both teams have played very well across the ground. They've handled the ball reasonably well. India played an interesting formation that they're quite happy to stretch the play across the back line of 3 and then play 4 players up with Sadar in the midfield. England, again, on the counter-attack have done well, just haven't really converted many meaningful chances. It's whether they can maintain that into the second half.
Here's Mantell looking to finish off strongly in the first half. There's a dodgy stick tackle in there. It'll be a free hit just outside. Some final defending for India to do in this final minute then of the first half. They'll be hoping to keep a strong wall, and that was a foot inside the D. Well earned. And England pushing every step of the way with Tom Carson putting that one onto a defensive foot. India conceding a late penalty corner at the end of this first half.
His last-ditch move from Carson. He gave everything he possibly could. I'm not sure Garbage was in the right place. Carson making sure of that ball into the circle. No doubt for the umpire.
Well, England throwing numbers forward because it's the final 10 seconds ticking off the clock now. So every single England player, apart from their goalkeeper, George Pinner, up and around the D. That gives them a huge advantage here. Just 5 Indian defenders, 4 outfield and the goalkeeper in the goal. So this is the final play of the half. Mark Leghorn having scored last time around. Carson this time takes the flick, shoots high, and I think maybe taking a little deflection there as well from the #1 runner. Either way, that's the last play of the half, and both sides go in level pegging. At half-time, it's England 1, India 1. So Bobby Crutchley heads off to the changing rooms. Brogdon and Shingles already on their way there. Good comeback from India in that first half. England going ahead through a Mark Leghorn penalty corner on 27 minutes. India with the answer, though. Darren Veer Singh getting his name on the score sheet and levelling things up just before half-time. So the scene set nicely for an exciting second half here. Do make sure you come back and join us with all the live action of England versus India at half-time here in the Hockey World Cup. It's England 1, India 1. Welcome back to The Hague. It's half-time here between England and India. It's 1 apiece. Mark Leghorn putting England ahead before Dharamveer Singh equalised things just before half-time. Here's a few highlights. India not at their very best from their penalty corners. Sardar Singh, though, dictating things in the midfield as you'd expect. What about that for a pass to open up this passage of play for Dharamveer Singh? That one just off target from Akashdeep. Ashley Jackson here with a quick restart, and England with this chance forcing the save from Srijesh. And then India here given plenty of room, and Mandeep coming close as he blazed that one over the bar. India, though, not great discipline there, not retreating 5 before that challenge came in, gave England this chance, which Leghorn took. Srijesh disappointed not to get more behind it, but Mark Leghorn putting England ahead. Here's India's response, a squeeze into the turf. The keeper was already down and low to his left-hand side, and a late chance on the hooter, but Carson scooping it over the crossbar. So that the best of the action from the first half. A look there too at some of the other stats. So none from 3 for India from penalty corners, 1 from 2 for England. Shots fairly evenly balanced, with England having 5 shots, India 6. Just a few more circle penetrations for England. But at half-time, it's 1-1. Oh, there we go, the local fans getting in amongst it. A sea of orange, and if you're shouting for the Netherlands, give us a shout. If you're shouting for India, get involved. If you're backing England, let us know. We're on all the social mediums, Facebook, Twitter. However you like to get involved. Looks like someone there might have even got a bit carried away with a few dancing moves. Seems okay. Dancing can be dangerous. As you can see there, the sun beating down here at the Rabobank Hockey World Cup 2014. And here's a look at how things currently stand in Pool A, with Australia leading the way. Belgium yet to play against Malaysia this evening. Belgium having beaten India, Australia having beaten Malaysia. This game, a crucial game. England drew their first game, remember, with Spain. They're both on 1 apiece. But Australia having won this morning against Spain by 3-0. Remember, the tournament made up of 2 teams, or 2 pools of 6, I should say. There's how things look in the other pool, Pool B. More Pool B action for you tomorrow, of course, but Germany and the Netherlands and New Zealand all with wins in their first game. Korea, Argentina, South Africa still searching for their first points of the tournament. And ideally, you want to be finishing in the top 2. If you make the top 2, you make the semi-finals. One playing, or first playing second, I should say. And then that crossover happening all the way through the pools. A few of the Indian fans there getting in amongst the action. And a few Union Jacks and St. George's flags out there as well. We are able to grab Bobby Crutchley pitch side. We're just going to rush him into position and hopefully get a few words from him ahead of this second half. England 1, India 1. Let's go pitch side with Bobby.
Well, Bobby, just a quick question. What's the feeling like in the camp? What needs to change in the second half?
We don't need to do a lot different. It's obviously a tight game. It's a close game. We just need to be a bit more quality on the ball and impose ourselves a bit more on it. We're just being a little bit soft in terms of actually our play, and actually our tempo of our passing game needs to up.
But you're still going for the win?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Thanks, Bobby.
Well, World Cup, and there's the passion etched all over Barry Middleton's face. We can see it, England already out, set there to go. Simon Mason, a quick word on what we heard there from Bobby Crutchley ahead of the start.
I agree with him completely, but both teams, in fact, need to keep their tempo. If either team takes their foot off the gas, England these days play with much more aggression and assertiveness, and they can create a lot of chances. But if they sit back in any way, the Indian momentum will take them forwards and create some chances.
Second half underway then with England 1, India 1. what a second half it promises to be if it's gauged on that first half that we saw. England eventually getting their noses in front with a Mark Leghorn penalty corner on 27 minutes. The East Grinstead striker putting England in front, but then Darren Veer-Singh equalising just before half-time. So that's where we are, one apiece, both sides with their video referral intact. And it'll be interesting to see how both sides come out and their approach to this second half. Remember, this game will go to the wire. India know that better than anyone in this tournament, conceding a late goal in the final 17 seconds of the game against Belgium.
Yeah, defenders like Michael Hoare a moment ago are going to have to be right on their mettle, because the Indian forwards are making long leads from the middle of the pitch out to the sidelines. India relying on long raking passes from players such as Raghunath, who's got real power and disguise on his drag flick.
Highest finish for England, incidentally, second in 1986. And the last time the World Cup was held, over in New Delhi. Finished fourth there, just outside the medal positions. Very much hoping to get into medal contention, at least making it through to the semi-finals, but obviously that draw against Spain in their first game, making it tough. And their huge tackle on Ali Brogdon there as Rupinder Pal went through on it.
I have to say, I can understand why Crutchley is upset, because the ball had popped up off India in the first instance.
Mantell over the ball, penalty corner.
No.
Well, yeah, I have to agree, it did seem a very harsh tackle on Ali Brogdon. Mantell has gone straight back though, and that tackle by VR Raghunath is the reason that England have a penalty corner. It's their third of the game. Leghorn on target with the first, and Carson off target, and there's that challenge right across the finger and the hand of Ali Brogdon.
I'm not sure how that's not a foul against England.
Well, that may be why the umpire played on. India came away with it. There was no...
Okay. Yeah.
Injection comes in. Jackson this time leaves it for Leghorn and looked to play it back as VR Raghunath came out. There's a reverse stick shot that's tapped wide in the end by Garbage. Didn't seem the most confident of penalty corners from England.
Well, there's been a few comments on social media about Jackson not flicking it, and obviously he picked up an injury before the competition, so there's a suggestion that's why he's not flicking much in the early stages. So that was more out to him because it was a disguise, it was a dummy to get the runners. He dropped it under his arm. But the corner itself just really not clean. There's the flick, but it gets on top of it. Great commitment from the defensive runner. And Dan Fox's pass to Jackson just not firm enough in any way, shape or form.
Teams are going to identify that, aren't they? And know that if the ball goes to Jackson, well, there's not too much disguise on it because he's not going to flick it. Here's England coming forward. This is Brogdon again. Seems fine after that recent challenge. Catlin now with a good turn of pace, and Mantell, did he get another penalty corner? Was it inside the D? It was outside the D. So it'll be a free hit for England on the dotted circle, or dotted line, I should say. Here's Fox, who took a knock in the first half. He's back to his feet and back to full fitness.
Hold on, wait.
So he'll be targeting the umpire as he lined that up and smacked it into the D. But going back to your question about Jackson and when he will be used, at some point he will regain his fitness, at some point during the competition. So there's always that cat and mouse when it goes to him. Do we commit runners to him because he can flick? Do we stand runners off because he's going to run moves? So there is that unknown. So because of his reputation, that's almost as much of a threat to a defence as whether he can flick it or not in the first instance.
And here's the thing, he can flick it, he's able to do it, we know that, and even with the injury, I'm sure he'd still be able to beat most of the top-class world goalkeepers here on the scene. But the thing is, you just don't want to risk losing a player like Ashley Jackson, not just because of his threat around the D, but also within open play.
Oh, and within his status within the team, it's what he runs both in offence and defence. It's obviously about what he can do with the ball, but it's the amount of running he does off it and how he makes the other players around him play and what he sets up.
There he is, just leading towards the ball, and now Hoare and Weir interchange passes, but India have it back, and here's Sardar, who had a stunning first half. He goes at goal here, taking the responsibility. There's going to be a shooting chance here for India to make it 2. And Gleghorn came back to make a clean tackle. He felt he got all ball there, and we might very well see a video referral here.
You got it so wrong.
Okay. I will talk with him.
Yeah, I took the ball and he hit my stick.
Do you want more referral?
Referral, yeah.
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So we'll listen for the question in a minute, but Gleghorn is adamant that he took the ball first before there was any sort of stick contact.
Bjorn, can you feed me?
Yes, Herman, I'm looking to see. I heard that. I'm looking to see that who played the ball.
Okay.
Well, let's have a look in our slow motion replay. Sardar Singh tees up this shot for Yuvraj Valmiki. There was the challenge, and did it impede this challenge coming in now from Gleghorn, left-hand side of your screen, the shot coming in from Yuvraj.
Looking for a little touch beforehand. Can't see it, it's just out with his body. It suggests in the first instance there could even be a back stick involved in that, but is there a touch? There's the touch.
He hear you.
For me, that's the more important thing. Is it a back stick?
There's no penalty, that's all I said.
Okay.
That's all I said. So that, if that
Okay,
means
no
Remember,
penalty,
the
no penalty.
player's only allowed to use the open side of the stick. Looks like it's open side from that angle.
He's here.
Yeah, I mean, Gleghorn's completely focused on the ball. Penalty stroke has to be given for a deliberate foul in the circle.
Herman,
Yes.
I have a decision for you.
Yes.
The England player has played the ball.
Yes.
You need to restart with the bully.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, yeah, so hard to spot at full speed as well, and depending on what angle you umpire from, but the penalty stroke won't stand. England keep their referral, and it's going to be a bully on the edge of the England D.
And you're so right, Mike, about that series of reviews. As the decision was coming in, we actually saw the best angle to help with the decision in the first instance.
Balls here, please. Everybody 5-2 players.
So Middleton is trying to negotiate some sort of outcome to this bully. I don't think the Indians are very much going to give him anything unless he offers to pass it back to them.
5 minutes, stay away. With the whistle start.
It's carnage around the England D, but everything to play for, and Barry Middleton was quite happy to give possession back if they just backed off, I think, but then going toe-to-toe with SV Sunil, mano-mano.
Well, Sunil, I'm willing to back off, and I can understand why at this stage of such a tight game, Middleton trying to be the class international sportsman that he is and just set things up, because even passing the ball back means you can dictate where you're going to pass it.
A slip there from Henry Weir. There's his club hockey at Wimbledon these days. A little slip on the synthetic AstroTurf here. Plenty of water gone on at half-time, and that not the most accurate of passes. Catches VR Raganaut out, and a good tackle in the end on Mark Gleghorn, but taking too much stick with it in the umpire's opinion. So England have a free hit inside their own half.
Yeah, and again, you have to question whether Raganaut actually gave the requisite 5 metres. You have to allow the player to run where he wants to run.
Mantell with 2 defenders on his shoulder. Can't get an outcome at the head of the D. Here is Sardar now bossing the midfield. Him and Jackson, that's an interesting battle, isn't it? The England number 7 and the Indian number 8. Keep an eye on them throughout the rest of the afternoon.
And really interesting battle in terms of the most effective skills we've seen them both use have been driving on the forehand and little reverse stick dinks, dropping the ball into the circle, dropping it into dangerous positions. A moment ago we saw Sardar doing it to create the shooting chance that led to the penalty stroke referral, and we've seen Jackson under his arm many times into the D.
Darren Veer, the goal scorer, got that equaliser for India right in the nick of time at the end of that first half. Cancelling out a Mark Gleghorn penalty corner. England getting set to make a series of changes with Martin, Comden, Carson and Whiteman all waiting on the sidelines. Young batch of England's elite waiting to come on. 1-1 still the score.
Well, England have gone back into a slightly more compact defence, allowing India to bring the ball forward. It'll give them a decent possession stat inside England's half once Sardar stands up over that halfway line. It just means you can just regain a little bit of breath. You can just compose yourselves as a team.
Ball came up off Catlin dangerously, so India will have it outside the 23-metre zone. This can go straight in the D, remember. Little deflection there from Middleton, gathered up by Dixon. Now Weir keeps his cool. Catlin again. This is VR Ragnall, drives the baseline. Needs to be a clean tackle here from England. Weir gets one of those in, and Catlin released. Went out of touch, unfortunately, so Darren Veer with the restart.
Well, I thought Catlin had got his feet round it as he did his 3D skills down that sideline to keep it in play. Umpire Montes de Oca thinking otherwise. But it was great interchange in the England circle that enabled them to come out. Good composure from Weir.
Now, the danger with England being so deep in defence is they don't have too much high, so a big push now from the England front line as Gleghorn and Brogdon, Condon and Jackson all push high. Ball still deep in England defensive territory, though. Martin just comes towards the ball, and this is Hall now.
Well, England quite happy to do to India what India did to them, which is when they held the ball around the back, happy to put a centre forward right up on the penalty spot, create as much space as possible, channels to run through with the ball.
More room on the outside now on this right flank with Dixon. Thinks about crunching in, and he does, looking for that deflection from Middleton. It'll be a 16-yard hit.
And it's a sign of the effectiveness of that stretch. If you push players high up onto the baseline, the defence have to worry about it. They'll protect the line to goal, but it means a player like Dixon with his pace can overlap around the outside, drive through space with his head up. If there's contact or a potential conflict, the head comes down to just protect the ball. But as soon as you've got 2 or 3 metres, these players can run at pace, eyes are up to deliver good passes.
England with a chance to counter-attack here. Numbers fairly even. Brogdon, this is where he can be dangerous. Forces the free hit. Jackson over the ball already. There's the self-pass, the restart. Sardar Singh getting a stick on it and losing his stick in the process. Allows this counter-attack, and here come India now from the halfway line. Sardar Singh, the captain, against Barry Middleton, the English captain. Look at these two tussling as they did in India a couple of months back at the beginning of the year. Barry Middleton playing for the Ranchi Rhinos, and Sardar Singh captaining the Delhi Wave Riders and seeing them through to their first ever Hockey India League, champions of 2014. Advantage played. There was a clear foul there on Dan Fox, but England had the ball anyway. Nothing comes of that unintentional foot there as well from Dan Shingles.
Composed defending as well, ball carrying from Michael Hoare on the right-hand side. Goes back a little bit to Henry Weir in his own circle. Occasionally when you are defending, actually the best thing to do is slow down. Compose yourself, don't get caught up in the moment, don't over-rush, because that's when you start to make mistakes. Michael Hoare could have thrown a 50-50 ball up the line, elected to come out and allow England to regain simple possession.
Bit of a stalemate at the moment. Can Ali Brogdon undo that? No, he can't, and he's furious with himself, because that reverse stick shot, or tomahawk as it's sometimes known, not one of his best.
No, and if we get to see a replay, as we do now, you'll see that he comes down on top of the ball. He doesn't get his hands low enough, so plays down on top of the ball and therefore squeezes it off the baseline.
There is going to be a card here for Jackson, I think, and Sardar outwitting the Englishman here, and England are going to go down to 10 men for 2 minutes. Green card for Ashley Jackson for that tackle on Sardar Singh.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate because he catches his stick underneath Sardar's trailing foot, which is what takes him to ground.
So 2 minutes in the cooler for Ashley Jackson. Downside of that means England are down to 10 players. SV Sunil, nice little bit of skill there to outwit young Dan Shingles of Reading.
Yeah, I was looking for the overlap of Gurbaj Singh down that right-hand side, knew that the overlap would come in.
Chance for Akashdeep, gets a free shot in and just took his time over it. Far too long, hasn't got that amount of time at international hockey at this sort of level.
Well, he picked it deep in the circle and spun Michael Hoare like on a sixpence, but in doing so had just put the ball back within the reach of one of the other England defenders.
Great confidence from Harry Martin there to ride 3 tackles, and now a counter-attack chance for England. There's the route 1 ball, little nudge on the back. Was there on Carson? No, says the umpire. Long corner, which Brogdon will take. Yeah, just an interesting phase of the game, isn't it? A bit of a stalemate between the two sides. We haven't seen too many shots on target in this second half with 22 minutes left to play. It's England 1, India 1.
Yeah, and I feel it's going to be less of a case of the team that comes up with something fantastic moving forwards. It's more going to be a case of where's the mistake, who commits to something and just gets it wrong deep in their own circle, who just edges a pass.
Well, Akashdeep has picked up a card as well. I didn't actually see the colour of it. This could be green or yellow.
It was green as he came in. He just clattered a stick carelessly.
So that'll be 2 minutes in the sin bin for him. Both teams down to 10 players. That should open things up a bit. Siddhar Singh gallops forward. Passes the ball, though, back to Tim Whiteman.
I was looking for Taranvir. Taranvir had led down the left-hand side, but unfortunately led without looking. So Siddhar again passing behind his back.
Here's Barry Middleton. Now Catlin on the back foot. Needs to get it into the D. England searching for another penalty corner. Jackson back on the pitch in the meantime from his 2-minute suspension. Whiteman just keeps it in. Not for long, though, as it's bashed out into touch.
Well, for all of England's endeavours there, the passes, 3 passes in a row, were just about a metre away from perfect, and it takes all of the momentum out of your attack. If you can't keep the ball out in front of you, lead onto it on the forehand or the backhand.
Lovely skill from Whiteman, skips 1 tackle, and remember, England up a player now, Akashdeep on the bench. 2 minutes sin bin for him. Good commitment coming forward from Dan Shingles. Continues the drive with Catlin outside him. Has he got the confidence to get past Rupinder Pal? Let's find out. Yes, he does. But that final touch coming in, it'll be a long corner. There is Akashdeep Singh. Just 2 minutes in the sin bin for him. About a minute of that left to go. Siddhar into SV Sunil.
Well, as Shingles burst past Siddhar a moment ago, Siddhar looked heavy-legged running back through the midfield. He's going to need to maintain his personal intensity if India are going to be successful as we move into the latter stages.
Yeah, that's where fitness does play a key part, isn't it, Mason? These players certainly well conditioned. I know it's something the Indian players have been working on, is that physicality, the mentality, the strength required to play in a World Cup.
Well, it's something that a number of the Asian teams have been criticised for over the years, is their application to physical training.
Well, here's a chance to take the lead, and that just goes wide of Pinner's goal. The reverse stick shot sat at perfectly. Unfortunately, not on target, though, from Yuvraj Valmiki.
Well, and this is they've never been criticised for a lack of individual skill, and that's a prime example. Pick up, upright, reverse stick. Brilliantly, Yuvraj just didn't quite get it on goal.
Got, as you say, plenty of power behind it, though. And technically perfect. Just didn't hit the target. We should probably put into context what a draw here for both sides would mean. Remember, India losing their first game against Belgium by 3-2, and Bobby Crutchley's side drawing against Spain 1-1. A draw here wouldn't do anyone any favours, would it?
No, it wouldn't, and both teams, therefore, will go for this right up until the end. And I think if we see a continued stalemate with about 10 to go, we could see some interesting tactics with either team throwing forwards even higher than they currently are, looking to stretch the game. England will perceive they have better physical conditioning, we just talked about it, and will happily try and run India into the ground and create spaces that way.
Well, they have to start going for it now, if that is indeed England's tactics. Remember, Belgium play Malaysia later today, and on paper, and that's never always a given in a World Cup, but on paper, Belgium, the much stronger side, and you'd expect Belgium to take all 3 points against Malaysia and join Australia at the top of the table on 6 points. And obviously, the key point is, remember, that just 2 teams from each pool go through. 2 pools made up of 6, but the top 2 only going through to the semi-final stages.
Yeah, indeed, and looking at it, whilst we talk about England probably trying to just crank up the intensity, I think India will fall back to their default.
If indeed their default is Garbage coming forward, then that's not a bad default to have, with Mandeep open on the far post, and I'm just surprised he wasn't on his nose getting a few Astro burns and drawing blood for his country there, because that was a good chance. 17.5 minutes left to play. India just starting to find a few gaps in the England defence. Here's a free hit now with SV Sunil driving along there, the baseline. Wins the free hit, which will be brought back to the dotted line.
And Whiteman having to be very careful because Sunil accelerated a couple of yards.
Plastic tackle of Johnson. Yeah,
huge
massive.
stick obstruction, so obvious in front of umpire Montes de Oca. But going back to India's default is individual skill. We see it here along the baseline. There wasn't a commitment to the pass, but they will fall back into, get the ball about 30 yards out and look to eliminate. First man elimination with individual skill, and then some small pattern play, I would have thought. England, on the other hand, will look to play over large spaces, drive the ball with real pace and purpose.
Jackson being shadowed every step of the way there by Lalit, and Uthappa doing his job as well. Darren Veer waiting to come on, the goal scorer, as Sadar carries the ball forward. Takes on Dixon. Got Akashdeep off his shoulder, and some good work back from Whiteman. A relatively new addition to the England squad, but certainly one to watch for the future. Great leadership skills and great individual hockey skills as well out there, Tim Whiteman.
Well, he's really grown in stature and contributing all around the pitch.
Plays his club hockey at Beeston, comes off for a well-earned break, and Michael Hall comes back on. Jackson looking to put his dominance on this game and put a stamp on. Well, counter-attack opportunity now for India. Darren Veer, fresh-legged, canters forward. Here's Mandeep. No support in the D as things stand at the moment. Has to delay it slightly, but what great individual skills to win the free hit there, getting by 3 England players in the process. Fox eventually coming in and covering him. Garbage out through Sadar, first time to VR Raghunath. Trying the old jalebi again.
He's looking to create space to drive that ball on the drag flick into the circle, having to run it himself.
That'll do it, and Pinner had to get something on it in the process. An injury over on that far side to Simon Mantell, who goes down, who was tackling Raghunath, left side, right side. Here's what happened.
Well, I think it's the spin that catches Simon Mantell on the way through. It is indeed. Just catches him in the back of his leg. Nothing malicious about it. Raghunath was looking to go across the circle.
He's up, made of sterner things. That is a stick challenge there on Ashley Jackson, so England will have the ball back. Jasjeet at fault there. Inside the final 15 minutes then, if you're just joining us, well, it's crunch time. England won, India won. Neither side can afford to draw this game. 3 very valuable points up for grabs. At the moment, Australia sitting pretty top of Pool A, with the likes of Belgium, Spain and Malaysia also in the group with India and England. It's a tough pool.
Oh, it's an incredibly tough pool, and with the level of... That's a risky pass from Weir. Sorry, my...
No, I saw it too.
Weir plays out to centre-half in contest.
Gleghorn now with Middleton looking to play that 1-2 along the baseline. Confident defence this time from Manpreet. Here he comes again with the ball. Plays in Jasjeet, but not the greatest first touch from him again there. Mantell drives into the D. Can he get a corner here? No, he can't.
Hey, come on.
I thought Mantell had got round the outside of Raghunath for a moment and was able to just knock it across, but Raghunath, it looks, just knocked the ball back onto Mantell's stick that then went off the baseline.
At what stage do England push everything forward? As we said, it's really a must-win game for them. Well, for both sides, as we highlighted.
Well, I think what Crutchley will try and work out is how tired the Indians are, because if the Indians start to get tired, that's when the spaces will open up. A moment ago on the counter-attack, they only committed 4 men to the attack and stayed with a back bank of 6, suggesting that they are a little bit tired and can't get up the field.
There's a chance. Keeper at full tilt, Gleghorn and Srijesh. know each other well from the Mumbai Magicians, from their time spent in the Hockey India League, but no love lost here. Both playing for their respective countries. Mantell feeds Dixon. No room there at all. India shutting the back door. England's come out and in search for another avenue. Middleton changing the angle again with Dan Fox. This is Gleghorn.
Play.
Gets the better of Lacquer, and there should be some space for England. There's a little deflection, comes in towards Jackson, who was coming in at the far post.
That's Gleghorn's strength as he drove through midfield as Lacquer stepped out to him. He was able to carry it down the middle and deliver a pass into the circle.
Fox clips one in. This time it's a long corner.
Well, and India sitting very deep, allowing Middleton to hold the ball at centre midfield, but getting two players between him and the heart of the circle. His hitting power, not renowned Barry Middleton for his hitting power, wants to deliver with a bit more finesse.
Laid off nicely by Gleghorn. This is Dixon. Horn out, and it's wide of the mark. Shingles was the target, but it was on his weaker reverse side as he was running away. Look there at Srijesh, and a look back at this save. That was Mantell with the ball in, and Sri having to get his low glove right-hand side.
And he's had to go a long way. He's a good 6-8 feet off his near post. Gleghorn would have got in behind him if he'd been, if Srijesh had chosen to leave it or not gone for it in the first place.
There's the India performance director, Dutchman Roland Altmans. He's back at home on home soil, still doing a good job over there in India, and along with Terry Walsh, developing this Indian side, changing the mentality. We've talked about changing the physicality, the mindset, and gradually taking steps forward. Currently ranked 8th in the world.
I think they are taking steps forward, but they have a massive challenge because there's a whole cultural hockey identity underneath that, different to what Altmans and Walsh are used to, and they've got to instill their own beliefs in the team and get them to really embrace those changes.
India, remember, the Olympic gold medalists in 1980, but still dining out on a lot of that success. Things have changed a lot since then. The game has developed a lot, and changes in place, though, to make sure that India stay in touch with the world's best. England here ranked 4th. Level as far as scores go. 1 goal apiece. Middleton just waiting for that ball for this long corner.
And this is actually when India are at their most dangerous. England have committed players to the attack, and now they get momentum if they've got some pace.
Well, Darren Veer's certainly got that. Plays it into Sardar, who thinks about opening the left-hand side of the field up, but maintains coming down the right-hand side. And Weir, that was a useful pick behind the body to regain possession for England.
Oh, go beyond useful to exceptional. Running flat out to keep an eye on the ball enough. There's a pass out to the right if Jackson can see it.
Yeah, Martin's open. Instead comes back to Brogdon there. And again, India have it through Darren Veer, who'll happily run this. Mandeep running out of steam on his left-hand flank, but Yuvraj here, near side touchline, takes it past Whiteman. SV Sunil in there. Whiteman, plenty physical on Yuvraj to let him know he was there, niggling away at him.
Well, that had penalty corner written all over it as Whiteman came in for the tackle. He was a good metre and a half short. He had his hand on the back of Yuvraj, but was able to just get his feet round at the last moment. But both these teams looking really heavy-legged through midfield as they give it everything they've got.
Yeah, temperature still here in the low 20s. It's been a sunny afternoon in The Hague. Sun still beating down. Just coming up to 5:30 local time by the time this game finishes. Will we have a winner? Will there be an outcome of this game, or will both sides take a point? Pretty much ending, you've got to say, their chances of qualifying for the semi-finals.
Yeah, could easily do so if neither team wins this. Both of them will find themselves near the bottom of the table with not a huge amount to play for, I should think, in terms of getting to the semis. But I do think that there's going to be one moment here. There's going to be a penalty corner. Both the teams have got exceptional front lines who are really, really pushing, and there's going to be something in a circle where a defender is a metre slow, a bad tackle, a half touch.
Well, a soft possession change here from England to India now. And that's a bobbly pass, but look at India. They've got 4 back there inside their own half. They're certainly not going to want to concede here late on as they did against Belgium. And SV Sunil now will try and get that elusive penalty corner. If they can get that here in late on in this second half, that could really sway things and tip the boat. Manpreet Singh looking for that arced run around to try and beat Catlin. Catlin and Martin there.
The defenders are going to have to stay on their toes, because if they get flat-footed, it's the change of direction when you're tired. Muscles, quick twitch fibres aren't really working well enough.
Oh, wonderful skill from Sardar to finish and take the win. It took a deflection from an England stick over the bar, but the skills to get into that shooting position from Sardar Singh were just magical.
Well, that must have been a ball moving right to left a good 2 metres, 2 or 3 times to eliminate. He had enough space to actually swing at that and hit it, electing for the slap at the last moment, and Fox unable to get a little edge away over the England crossbar.
That's my skill du jour. Sardar Singh there, opening up the England defence, and he'll still have a crack at it here, I think. He'll be first over the ball. Just what India need, someone to step up to the plate from their perspective. England's defence have to stand tall. This a real pressure moment for them, and Barry Middleton and Ali Brogdon toe-to-toe to make sure this ball doesn't come through. Brogdon just casually gives the ball away. Sardar again, it's this time taken away by Whiteman. Who earns the free hit, very casually done.
Well, it's not often somebody out-dribbles Sardar Singh, but Whiteman electing to try and be clever and just tuck it between the feet of the Indian captain. Does so and wins the free hit to enable England to come away, but that's a hit to nothing. That's a tired hit, lack of imagination.
Here's that skill we talked about with Sardar. Got himself into the shooting position and got a slap off, but look at the commitment from the England defenders. That final touch coming from Michael Hoare and taking it over the crossbar for a long corner. More space here for Darren Veer. Still got a bit of juice in the legs. There's the ball across the D. There's a shot from Mandeep. The follow-up goes short into the side netting. And so close for India. 3 attempts in the end for Mandeep Singh.
Well, Pinner, who has had so little to do, reads this, closes it down. That's a great bit of goalkeeping, because he couldn't have seen it. But even so, Mandeep so close to getting over Pinner's shoulder into the top corner, and Walsh knows it.
Again, the skill set there from Mandeep Singh to hit it into the turf. Now clipped off the heels from Dan Fox. Partial to a bit of cricket himself. Here's Ashley Jackson now on the counter-attack. He's still got plenty left in the tank. Final few minutes for England with Fox ahead of him. Jackson wins the free hit. Now it's England's turn to step forward. Jackson might fancy this himself. Off the foot there on the edge of the D. Must go 5 metres, remember, before it goes into the D.
Oh, what a commitment from Fox in the support run. He ran all of 50 metres to get past Jackson and out down the left flank, giving Jackson the space to drive in towards the head of the circle.
England looking for a winner. Somewhere in the back of the minds of the Indian players, they'll maybe be thinking of the other night when they conceded late on the final 30 seconds of the game, when they conceded to Belgium. Here's Jackson with the ball now in. Did it take a deflection? No, it didn't. Mantell was in a position to deflect that home. And that's got to be England's best chance.
Well, you just said so, but you've got to admire the sportsmanship. It's a very easy, congested circle to try and claim something, and nobody goes up.
Well, that was a golden opportunity there for Simon Mantell. He was the last player and could have easily got a feather touch on it to take it past Srijash. England regroup, and now India have a chance to come forward. That ball is going to be long, too long for Lalit Upadhyay.
Well, there's an obvious difference in the defensive focus. As England attacked a moment ago, they had pretty much everybody up within the Indian 25. As India had that ball and were attacking, they still had 4 or 5 men back, suggesting they feel they could get something out of this.
Catlin taking it upon himself to drive the ball forward all the way. Can he get into the D and get a shot off? No, he stopped at the very last hurdle there by Rapinder Pal. But carried it a good 20 metres forward. Counter-attack now with Akash Deep. Free hit. Not much support. He'll leave it for Sadar. England retreat and get numbers behind it. Sadar with Garbage in support. Easy pickings for Dan Fox. Lays it off for Mantell, who's got Jackson under his shoulder. Not much ahead of him, though. Fox confidently gathers on the reverse stick. This is Hornow looking for the long ball forward to Gleghorn. England just gaining metre by metre. This is Dixon now on the near touchline. Floated in for Catlin.
Well, I have to say I'm a little surprised by the Indian front line of press. They're allowing England to bring the ball up to dangerous distribution positions.
Yeah, and swinging it all over the shop here. Here's Brogdon with a chance. It's Jackson now. Carries it all the way into the D, was looking for the foot and gets it. Ashley Jackson earns England a penalty corner right at the death. And this is going to be it. England's last chance to take the win and keep their World Cup hopes alive.
And Jackson with the ball on the end of his stick elects to drive across the circle. There's a horrible stick challenge there that's been given. There's no touch in the circle, so it's the foul outside the D there across Jackson's stick that is the reason that Madden picks the corner.
Good spot. England huddle. And this is it, the moment of truth. This is what they train for. Ali Brogdon sets off to the injection spot. The fans wait eagerly on the edge of their seats here in the stadium in The Hague and back home, no doubt. India, remember, conceding late on against Belgium the other day.
India have gone to
Did you hear the question?
Has it not been on the screen before?
Or would you like me to repeat?
Please repeat the question.
Interesting time.
You happy with the time?
Yes, just about happy with the time. The Indians are saying that there was no foul. Can you check that for me?
Well, we need to know what the foul was given for. You've alluded to the fact it was the foul outside the D, which comes down to umpire interpretation.
Well, I think this is a last throw of the dice because they're suggesting there wasn't. We heard it. So as Jackson picks it up here and drives across, watch the stick tackle hit the head of his stick there.
Yep.
How's that?
Yep.
That's an obvious foul.
No, agreed. That's what it's been given for. It's a quick decision from the umpire.
Martin, I have a decision for you.
Go ahead.
There was a foul, and it's your interpretation that it's a penalty corner. You can stay with that decision.
Thank you, Dion.
Dion Nell, the video umpire there, confirming, and Martin Madden getting it right. But India, last throw of the dice to make sure that there wasn't a get-out-of-jail-free card there. Gleghorn set at the head of the D. Ashley Jackson, remember, with that shoulder injury. Not likely to be him, I don't think, with the last roll of the dice. Gleghorn, remember, with one goal already in the first half. Jackson it is this time, takes it low. And there was a deflection. There goes the follow-up, and England have scored. It's Simon Mantell with the winner. Simon Mantell does it for England and picks up the 3 points. It's got to be now for England if they can keep their cool with just over a minute left on the clock. It's England 2, India 1.
It is indeed. Jackson's down in the circle. However, he's gone to flick that. We know he's got a bad shoulder. You could suggest a degree of sportsmanship, but here's the first flick. Great save from Srijesh off the tip-in, but what an upright reverse finish from Mantell. Look at the connection. Smashes it with the front edge past Srijesh into the far corner of the goal, and England elated.
As you imagine there, Simon Mantell all smiles. Looks like he's nicked a winner here against India. Poor Srijesh again. Another great first save off Dan Fox, but not good news for England in terms of Ashley Jackson. You've got to say, he gave it 100% to get that ball into Fox, though. That was do or die for England.
It was indeed, but don't write India off. They will swarm forwards in these last moments.
England head height into Harry Martin. No rush here for England to take it. Inside the final minute now. Can England keep their cool? India, as you'd expect, throwing everything forward to try and get a result out of this game. Remember, a draw pretty much kills it for both sides.
Well,
Catlin
this
now.
could be Catlin dribble show at the corner flag. He's gone for the circle, but peeling out.
And he's been penalised there.
And I don't understand at 2-1 up why you would dribble into the heart of the circle and turn possession over. You go to the corner flag and you close the game out. You've given your opponent the ball back.
Garbage gives it back to his captain, who goes one-on-one against England's captain here. Garbage receives the ball back. India in search for this equaliser, or at least the penalty corner. Gathered by Barry Middleton. Can he keep his cool, keep possession? Yes, he can. He's taking on Sardar Singh. Harry Martin now, 2-on-1 there as Rapinder Pal body checks Harry Martin, and he can't believe it. Rapinder Pal coming away with the ball, but England coming away with the win. There goes the final hooter. England beat India by 2-1. Well, what a game. A nail-biting finish to this game. Not good news for Ashley Jackson, who gave it 100% with that final flick of the game. No one thought he'd take it from the head of the D. He directed it towards Dan Fox, who deflected it. Goal-bound, Srijesh made a world-class save. Simon Mantell slotted home the winner. And England beat India here by 2-1. What a performance, what a game. India will gather themselves to go forward. Their next game against Spain on Thursday, of course. And England, well, there's no easy games in the World Cup, but they take on Malaysia next on Thursday, a game they very much expect to win. They've won here today against India. The final score here at the Rabobank Hockey World Cup 2014, England 2, India 1. Boy, oh boy. Pause for breath. Simon, a few thoughts on that before we see some highlights.
Well, India will be distraught conceding another late goal. England will be elated. They gave it everything, as did the Indians. Both teams committing everything to attack. It was open, it was aggressive. Both teams throwing everything, tiring through midfield towards the end. England getting those vital 3 points that carry them forwards with a chance of making the semis.
So England, yes, up to 4 points. Look at the contrast in moods. India disheartened again, and you've got to have a spare thought for them there. They pushed all the way. Ashley Jackson still smiling, chatting to a few of his mates from the Hockey India League, including Srijesh, the goalkeeper, and Sardar Singh pushed everything. Here's a look back at the winning goal. Ashley Jackson putting it on the stick of Dan Fox there. Srijesh at full stretch with that left arm save, but nothing he could do with the follow-up of Simon Mantell.
But it's an exceptional save from Srijesh from the tip-in from Fox. Mantell, however, an upright front edge. It was all or nothing. Could have gone over the stand, but he gets full connection. Nothing that Srijesh can do.
That's the winning goal. Simon Mantell scoring it as the fans pour out. We can head down pitch side now. Nick's got Simon alongside him.
Great bit of goal again on the big screen. Talk us through how you saw it live.
Yeah, I mean, those sorts of goals are just reaction, and just hit it when you see it. I don't think you've got to think about it more than that. Just glad we got the opportunity at the end there, and really pleased to get 3 points.
Clearly a very important result for England today.
Yeah, incredibly. I mean, the draw we got against Spain 2 days ago was a little bit disappointing because we created a lot of chances. Today, I think actually we probably made similar amount, maybe a few less, but we kept the possession well, and I'm just glad it paid off in the end.
And still a lot to play for. There were a few injuries in the camp as well. Is that a worry?
You know, it's inevitable. You know, the pace and speed we play at in this game means that you're going to get injuries. Unfortunately, we've got a couple, but they're not injuries which are going to put people out for a long time. So hopefully, within a game or two, we'll be back to full strength.
India really gave it their all today. They must be bitterly disappointed to concede for a second game so late, but they're still a dangerous team. Upsets ahead, perhaps, for some of the teams in this group.
They're an incredibly dangerous team. I think Terry Walsh, their coach, has done a great job over the last couple of years with them. They're playing a lot more consistently than they have done in past years. And I think you're right. I think there could be an upset on the cards later on in the group.
Simon, thanks very much. Congratulations on the goal. Well done.
It's a winning goal for Simon Mantell. It's a winning goal for England. They pick up all 3 points here against India. India's next game against Spain on Thursday. Could they deliver that shock win against the Spanish? They certainly put in the effort here today. England, their next match on Thursday is against Malaysia, but they go to 4 points, as we said. Australia having won already today and are up there on 6 points. There's Terry Walsh, who Simon Mantell was talking about, and there is confirmation of what this result does to the table. England jump up to second, and Australia, as we said, 2 wins from 2, the only undefeated team in the pool so far. But remember, Spain, they did play earlier on against Australia, Malaysia versus Belgium still to come. Just trying to listen in there to the mood in the Indian camp. Pretty solemn affair. Back-to-back defeats for Terry Walsh's India. Back to the drawing board ahead of their next game on Thursday. So England, there's the contrasting mood. That's what it feels like to win. A sigh of relief, I think, from Nick Catlin and the England boys. A get-out-of-jail-free card from Simon Mantell, added to Mark Leghorn's first half strike. Darren Veer getting the equaliser for India, but Simon Mantell getting the winner. And the final score here in The Hague, England 2, India 1.